It is not going to remain the same. For us as an organization, the challenges remain of how we could cascade that information into buckets which is useful for the end traveler. It is not possible for one organization to do this. So our survey results clearly indicate that close to 49% of the people who we surveyed said that they got all the information online. Whereas only 28% of the people said that they have actually 34% of the people said that they have got all the information within 2 websites of what they searched. Which means that the sources of information that is giving you the actual power to make that decision is scattered. And therein lies the challenge to collaborate. And collaboration can only happen if there is trust within this community. There has to be trust within this room amongst suppliers, airlines, hoteliers, intermediaries like us, distribution companies like Amadeus, to be actually able to bring that information on a standard platform. Let me ask you a question here. Why do banks not shy away from allowing you to use ATMs? There was a very valid point about ATMs. Why does HDFC Bank not fear when someone goes and puts his card onto an ICICI bank? You're actually sharing your account number. There is a back-end service provider like Visa or MasterCard who's powering that transaction. But the fact remains that there is a level of trust and there is a level of standardization that they have brought into that space. Hence, NEFT, RTGS are very, very easy things to do without you really being called by the next bank and being pushed upon. And that's the kind of trust and collaboration that we as an industry will see in the years to come, because it's not possible for one organization to quench the thirst of information that travelers have. Let us now look at distribution and purchase, which is the second component of the travel purchase cycle. The distribution and purchase cycle has until now worked on a push model from suppliers, from intermediaries like us to the end consumer, which is the end traveler. The corporate traveler today is given 3 options to choose about which airline he wants to go by. Now, it is very, very ironical that you have the lowest fare on which he has to travel, but you give him visibility to 3 fares. And here is the question that, will policies change because technology is giving you the guarantee that you are taking the lowest fare? And if that is the guarantee that you have, if there are travel teams to supervise that, why would we be required to furnish 3 fare options? And that's a question we need to ask ourselves. Similarly, the ability to push this information is changing rapidly. Today, airlines and hotels want to push this inventory directly to the end consumers. They want to skip the layers of intermediaries and distribution partners. They are met with limited success. It is not something new. In fact, the distribution systems were formed because the cost of distribution was too high for individual airlines. So what we did is, we went out and did a survey with our respondents, and 82% of the airlines that responded to this questionnaire said that they required the distribution company to be in between. Which brings us to the fact that the GDS today is going to stay. There are enough questions that get asked that will there be distribution systems in future. The fact remains, yes, they will remain. The fact remains that they will reinvent themselves. The fact remains that travel as a commodity will no longer exist. They will bring rich content through video, through Web 2 technologies that will allow people to make informed decisions. And that is the critical aspect. So when we surveyed airlines, they said that they use GDS primarily because they believe they encompass the reach. There is a wider reach that they create. They are a trusted channel. They give the ability to support complex fares and multi-currencies, and they also allow alliances and interline and codeshare flights to be sold across the same trading with the same trading carrier. And finally, it's the flexibility of operations that the GDS gives. Today, EMD is a reality in the Western world. We are hoping that by 2014, GDSs will bring EMD to the country. Unbundling of services today is possible by airlines because technology allows that to be sold separately and the distribution channels are adopted to it. So at this point, I would like Meena to play a video about how GDSs are relevant for us in today's world.
There's a lot of people in the industry that have been calling GDS as dinosaurs and predicting our demise for many years. But there's been no time like the present where GDSs have added additional value to the travel industry with the delivery of advanced technology. And let me give you a couple of examples. At the travel agency today, the technology from the GDSs has improved their efficiency, reduced their costs, and increased the reliability of their data so the travel agents can provide a better service to their end traveler. And secondly, for the airlines now use GDS technology for the distribution of their content. And speaking on behalf of Amadeus, where we've powered hundreds of airlines now, we can deliver advanced, sophisticated technology to the airlines, which improves their service to their end customer. But let me take it one step further. The internet, as we know, has greatly empowered these travelers around the world. And this is an important point. The travelers now have more knowledge, more experience, and more information at their hands than ever before. Similarly, the suppliers, and particularly the airlines, have the internet to help them distribute their product to a wider scope and potentially at a lower cost. So the travel agent must embrace this technology, must use the technology to its strongest point in order to meet the requirements of the traveler and add value in the value chain.
So we see the views of how a GDS is so confident about the fact that technology will change and how it will power the future. When we did the survey, the travelers who responded to the survey, 76% said that they were comfortable booking domestic travel. And that number shrunk to 37% when we asked them about international travel in terms of air tickets. However, on the hotel side, only 51% of the travelers were comfortable booking it online, and that number further shrunk to 34% in terms of international hotels. And herein lies the mindset challenge that we as a country are going through today. And a lot of us in this room will relate to those statistics because that's how we would do our own stuff if we had to plan and execute our own travel. When we look at online payments, online payment gateways have existed. There is a huge amount of trust that they've been able to generate. Today, mobile banking and mobile payment platforms are gaining credits. It is expected that web payment platforms will cease to exist at some point in time. The Gartner predicts that the number of smart handphone shipments is going to be much larger than desktops or PCs that are going to be shipped in the year 2030. And that's actually a huge step forward in terms of the power of computing shifting from the desktop to the handheld. We have a video there on a purchase that we would like to play.
Online travel certainly provides us options which are very transparent. We have visibility to what we are actually committing to. The same transparency may not be available when you are dealing with a travel agent. But that doesn't mean the travel agent is not actually giving you the right solutions. But the confidence level that you have when you're dealing with an online travel portal versus an agent is not different. So today, the online portals provide you the comfort that what you're getting in terms of value for money from a travel agent is very transparent and fair. So you are able to do an apple-to-apple comparison when you're dealing with an agent versus a travel portal. Travel portal provides you multiple choices, multiple options, which you can actually leverage to get the best out of a travel agent. So to me, transparency is more of an experience rather than, something different.
Thank you. So as I said, the traveler today believes that he's not getting all the information at one go. And why is this existing today? Who's the player who's actually able to build the maximum amount of content that a traveler requires? Any guesses? No guesses? Who does dynamic packaging the best in the current state of affairs? Is it a GDS? Is it an airline? Is it an intermediary? Is it Thumbscope? No, we're not. It is Google. They have Google Places, they have Google Maps, they have Google Flights, and soon you might just find them interlinking the whole thing and changing and transforming from a search engine into a distribution. And that today there are obviously regulatory issues. There will be a few lawsuits filed saying that you cannot do this, you cannot do that. But the fact is that they have the power and the ability to transform the way people seek travel information. And they have changed their privacy policies. There are no issues with that. So every